Hello and welcome to another match reaction on Football Talk podcast. My name is Ozzie and I'm your host for today's show. Liverpool managed to clinch the win against Arsenal. That, to be fair, lacked a clean stick in front of goal. As we all know, the match concluded 2-0 to Liverpool. So let's review the game with the key moments. I'll also present the player ratings. By the way, this is a calling show, so if you'd like to come on and have your say, hit the link in the description, and it's also available on the live chat. So before we begin, let's go through the starting lineups before the game. So for me, it was an interesting selection from both managers. I was expecting really strong lineups from both teams. Arsenal gave Jorginho and Reece Nelson rare starts to the lineup. Havertz led the line in a more advanced role. For Liverpool, Kwanzaa and Konate were paired together in defence. Gakpo is deployed in a midfield position in place of the injured Szoboszlai. Harvey Elliott is in the lineup on the right wing, which is what I wanted to see in place of Mo Salah, who we all know is on international duty right now. So let's start with the first half review. I'll be honest, it was all Arsenal. I think the first couple of minutes, Reece Nelson almost break the deadlock. Great long pass by Ramsdale. Nelson goes around Ellison, through on goal, but unfortunately for him, hits the side netting. Maybe should have done better there for me. Big opportunity for Arsenal to take the lead very, very early on in the game. Around the 6th minute, Nelson has another shot towards goal, deflected for a corner. Saka steps up to take that corner kick. The ball is scrambled away from danger. Havertz gets on the loose ball and shoots from distance, saved by Alisson there. And around the 10th minute, Arsenal almost scored again. Joe Gomez unfortunately gave the ball away. Havertz drives with the ball, squares it to Nelson, who's blocked by Konate. Odegaard gets the loose ball. He smashes it with pure venom. Unfortunately for him, hits the crossbar. And look, like I mentioned earlier on, it was all Arsenal. And it wasn't just the opening 10 minutes, it was probably throughout the first half. Liverpool finally got some sort of attempt towards goal. And it was Nunes who had that first attempt. His header just goes wide. Saka almost hits a deadlock as himself. He cuts in, drives with the ball. In the end, the shot goes towards goal, but just about reaches the goalkeeper. There was no real power in that effort whatsoever. Havertz has another shot from the edge of the box, gets blocked, and the ball pretty much got stung, I would say, from that block, and Alisson manages to collect it. 35th minute, Declan Rice thought he'd have a crack on goal, saved by Alisson again. And moments later, you got Ben White bombing down the right-hand side. He has a shot towards goal, parried away for a corner. Havertz actually has a chance to score with his header from the corner. Missed opportunity again, should have hit the target. And then 43rd minute, Havertz, another chance. Kwanzaa, unfortunately, was the one that gives the ball away. But in the end, another weak effort. Now, I hope people have the same energy for Havertz as they do for Darwin Núñez, because Darwin Núñez, the amount of chances he creates isn't as wasteful as Havertz in comparison in front of goals. So let me just put that out there. Around the 44th minute, it was one of those games where I felt like Arsenal were going to be dominant. They were going to have possession. And it only took maybe a shot or two, a split moment from Liverpool to break that deadlock. Trent almost did that just before halftime as his shot hits the crossbar. Ramsdale looked like a relieved man after that effort, to be fair. And that was the first half. And let's not beat around the bush. Arsenal were fantastic in that first half. Showed a good account of themselves, but they were wasteful in front of goal. Liverpool, on the other hand, didn't really make a mark on that game, especially in the first half. Trent had that late effort that hit the crossbar, and that was pretty much the best effort that Liverpool had towards goal. For Liverpool, things needed to improve if they wanted to take anything from the game, because as we all know, the last thing both teams wanted would have been a replay. With all these congested fixtures coming up, not ideal for any team. Second half, a much better performance from Liverpool, to be fair. 49th minute, Saka goes through on goal, tries to hit a shot, blocked by Gomez. Gomez, in the same minute, responds with another crack for himself towards goal, just over the bar. Now, look, I keep saying this every episode. Joey G will break that deadlock, or break his duck, I should say, and score his first goal for Liverpool. I stand by this, and I won't quit saying it until he manages to score this season. 51st minute, Liverpool on the counter, and that was the key skill there for me in terms of Liverpool. to get anything from the game, they had to work on that counter attack. It's what I mentioned in the preview. And I think second half, they finally found that rhythm. Lovely through ball from Elliott to Diaz, who drives on that right-hand side. He tries to square it to Nunes, but gets blocked by the Arsenal defense. And then a minute later, Liverpool on attack again. This time it was Jones that gets on the ball from Nunes, but his effort, unfortunately, is blued over the bar. And then following minute again, Trent hits a lovely long ball towards Nunes, who's attacking the left channel this time. He cuts in, whips in a shot, misses the target. Very close effort from Darwin Nunes there. Arsenal around the 57th minute had another chance from a free kick. Saka tries to hit a half volley, but it hits over the bar. For me, that execution was completely wrong. Looks like he was leaning back. Should hit that with a bit more power. Might have actually hit the target. Just before the hour mark, as you know, Klopp trademark, what he does trademark is basically making some substitutions. So double substitutions for Liverpool. It was Gakpo, McAllister off for Jota and Gravenberch. So slightly different shape, different tactics deployed by Jurgen Klopp. Jones drops as number 6. Elliott drops to midfield. Jota through the middle, and Diaz on the right-hand side. A minute later, Arsenal again with another chance from Saka that goes over the bar. To be honest with you, it doesn't look like anyone from the Arsenal team was wearing their shooting boots, including Saka, who had a load amount of chances to score in this game. 63rd minute, Liverpool on the counter. Elliott drives with the ball, has a shot from distance, right foot effort, no real power, straight save for the goalkeeper. And around the 69th minute, Nunes is on the attack on the left-hand side. He squares it to Diaz, but his ball just seemed to be behind the Colombian winger. Chance was gone. And then 72nd minute, Saka cuts in, hits a curler, goes high and wide. That was pretty much his summary of his performance of the game. 74th minute, Elliott and Jones are taken off for Clark and Bradley. Trent goes into midfield. Bradley goes to right back, and Clark is in centre mid. 76th minute, Liverpool almost open the score sheet. It was Jota, makes a great impact as soon as he comes on, drives with the ball, lays it off to Diaz. He shoots with his left foot. Great save by Ramsdale for a corner. Trent then hits the corner. Jota leaps, and his header unfortunately hits the crossbar. Nunes tries a side-footed effort. Watching that goes wide. Around the 79th minute, we finally broke the deadlock. Trent hits a sweet free kick. Kiwior, unfortunately, heads the ball into the back of his own net. Liverpool take the lead. Crowd goes wild, as you can imagine. 81st minute, Trent hits another great ball to Nunes. He controls it, lays it off to Diaz, but he doesn't have the room to hit the shot with any real power, and unfortunately, his effort goes wide. In the 94th minute, we got the second goal and clinched the win. Another great counter attack from Liverpool. Great play by Jota on the left, squares it to Diaz, and he smashes it in the top corner of the near post. Great finish there. I saw the replay today. It actually looked like it was a no-look shot as well. So, yeah, Diaz with a cheeky one there. But overall, a great win for Liverpool. Arsenal were the better team in the first half, but second half for me, Liverpool really stepped it up, played the smart game. I think the timing of Klopp's substitutions was spot on, and even the tactics that were deployed were perfectly executed, in my opinion. Liverpool avoided the replay and progress into the fourth round now. Now, I think the Liverpool squad can finally book their tickets to Dubai and enjoy that winter break. For Arsenal, just like their all-white kit, look like they surrendered by waving a white flag. Out of all cup competitions now, I guess you say they're still somewhat part of the title race and also in the Champions League, but this is a trophy that a lot of Arsenal fans hold in high regard and would have wanted to have added to their trophy cabinet. And I hope this performance shows that Arsenal aren't as great as what people say. Their squad, for me, lacks quality, and I highlighted this early in the season. Liverpool, on the other hand, had a number of absentees, and even a couple of our kids did a decent job towards the end of the game. People might, take Liverpool seriously now. But in all honesty, I couldn't care less what people have to say about my team. We're quietly getting on with our business, and we'll let the wins do the talking for us. Arteta made a comment afterwards saying on the basis that of the performance they should have won. well, the scoreline was 2-0 to Liverpool, so that's what really counts, doesn't it? So that's my review of the match. I'll do the player ratings. Actually, there's quite a few comments, so let's go through them together. We'll start off with and for Uncle Roz, who says, "Bless up, my bro. Bless up, Uncle Roz. Thank you for your comment and support as always." And I've just got a comment here from Abdul Rahim. Says, "Assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum assalam to you, Abdul. How are you? And happy New Year to you. Thank you. Happy New Year to you and your family." And Arsenal 0 to Liverpool. No Salah, no Van Dijk, no Thiago, no Robertson, no Simicast, no Bashish, no Endo, no Savoda, no Matip. No problems. No problems indeed. I like that. And then your second comment is Liverpool versus Fulham Wednesday. Yeah, big game coming up. I'll be doing a match preview tomorrow, so we'll definitely talk about that in more detail. You've gone for your lineup here. Let's have a look. So Kelleher, Bradley, Kwanzaa, Gomez, Owen Beck, Elliot McAllister, Jones, Gakpo, Nunes, Jota. I'll be honest with you, that's not a bad lineup, to be honest with you. And you've gone for a 3-0 prediction, which is I like that scoreline. So that's a good one there. And you said, you've asked me, which players do Liverpool need in the January transfer window? So good question. I think you look at any squad in the Premier League, every team will somewhat need to make recruitments to make a more complete squad. As of right now, I'll be honest, I don't think we'll be making any doing any business in this window. If it was down to what I wanted in the team, I would have liked another midfielder, like a defensive mid, because as great as Endo has been, I feel like when he's not in the team, we have to drop McAllister a bit deeper, who for me does a fantastic job in that number 6. But I think we all would prefer to see McAllister more up top. But I feel like the two positions that are kind of like areas that need improvement is probably our defensive mid. So like having a traditional number 6 in the team. So like a Palhinha from Fulham, for me, he'd be fantastic. And then as centre back, but I think because of the emergence of Kwanzaa, I don't see us going into the market for a centre back. But hey, look, I might be proven wrong, and I might be completely off the board in terms of my opinion there. Ideally, if we're playing FIFA or if it was down to me, I'd like a centre back and a number 6. But I think it would depend on who we're targeting, because obviously Liverpool have a certain profile and strategy when it comes to recruitment. So if we had a target that for some reason was being targeted by someone in this month, you never know. It might be a position where Liverpool actually get involved and try and recruit someone. So yeah, that would be the two positions. Excuse me. I think even in the summer, I'd like to see, we've got 5 good forwards, but I'd like to see someone else a bit more for the right hand side, like not a backup to Salah, but someone in that field that can play on the left wing as well. I feel like with our attackers, they're a little bit more predictable. But for me, Diaz playing on the right hand side was a great surprise. Actually did a decent job. So no, to your question, I'd probably say a centre back or DM. But if I had to pick one, I'd love for it to be a DM, but remains to be seen. If we're linked with anyone or strongly linked with someone, I'll do a transfer show. At this minute, I'm not really hearing anything. So let's see how it goes on. Just got a comment here from Genro Belandres. Thank you for your comment, Genro. You're fairly happy getting Bristol Rovers in the 4th round. So I just saw that before I actually logged on. So Bristol Rovers is a good encounter, to be fair. Let's have a look to see who else has got in the 4th round. So are there any surprises? Let's have a look. Let's give you my instant reaction from there. So okay. So Man City are facing Tottenham, and that's a big match there. You've got, who else do we have? We've got Watford and Southampton, which is okay, good one for Southampton. Blackburn, Wrexham, Bournemouth, Swansea, West Brom versus Brentford or Wolves. Is this correct? Yes, it is correct. And then you've got West Ham or Bristol City versus Nottingham Forest or Blackpool. Leicester versus Hull or Birmingham. Chelsea and Villa. That's a big one. That's going to be a very tasty encounter there. As I mentioned, Tottenham, Man City, Liverpool, Bristol Rovers. Yeah, that's a good one for us. And then you've got Sheffield United versus Brighton, Fulham, and Newcastle. So a couple of Premier League encounters there. And then you've got Newport or Eastleigh versus Wigan or Manchester United. So yeah, some good encounters. Yeah, I'm happy with that one. It'll be a good one. It's at Anfield as well. So in terms of the Bristol Rovers players, they'll get to play in Anfield, which is always a nice thing for players who are working up the ranks. I believe it's Kwanzaa's former team as well. He was there on loan in the previous season as well. So he'll definitely see some familiar faces there. So no, I'm happy with that tie. That's a good one to have. Obviously, the first round one was probably as hard as it gets. Luckily, it wasn't Man City or Tottenham or any of those type of teams. So yeah, I'm definitely happy with that draw. And then we've got a comment from Amirali. Thank you for your comment, Amir. We're home playing against Norwich City so round 4. So that's a good one. That's a good one, to be fair. And Richard, he says, hi, Ozzie. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you too, Richard. Fixtures, Fulham, Bournemouth, Fulham, Chelsea, Arsenal, Burnley, and Brentford. All winnable games in my eyes there, to be honest with you. Bournemouth, for me, are a good team. They play some good football, but we've already faced them this year. Fulham, obviously, 2 encounters in the semi-finals. Chelsea have improved, but I don't fear them. And then we're playing Arsenal, I think, beginning of the month in February. We just beat them at the Emirates, so shouldn't have any issues there. And probably by that time, depending on how Endo and Salah progress in their international duties, maybe close to a return. I'll have to double check that one. But then we've got Burnley, Brentford. So yes, we've got a good run of fixtures. We played a lot of our tough games earlier in the season, so I don't think we're getting enough respect, if I'm being honest with you. But sometimes we like that. We like to be the underdogs. We just let our football do the talking in that regards. And next comment here from Amir says, I put Darwin left wing, Jota striker, and Diaz running as our main 3 without Salah. That's an interesting one. I can't lie. Diaz for me, yeah. I know he's made a couple of cameos on the right hand side. One that sticks to my mind was when we played in the FA Cup final, not a couple of years ago, and he had to play on the right a little bit. So he did a decent job there. But no, he looked good there, to be fair. I do want to see Harvey Elliott given more opportunities to play in that role. It's more of his natural game. But it's good to know that if we need to switch it up like we did in the Arsenal game, we can definitely put Diaz on the right-hand side and drop Elliott a bit more deep in the more number 8 role. So look, these are good options to have. We've got players that are multifunctional, unlike other teams. So it's a very, very good feat to have in our team where different players can do different duties whenever required. So no, a nice team selection there for Klopp. In terms of your lineup, yeah, I wouldn't be mad at that, to be fair. I think the annoying thing for me with that one is Darwin Núñez being a left winger. That I know he does his good work there, but he's a striker. He should be playing up top. But look, at this stage, I couldn't care less. If we get the wins and we're climbing up the table and winning competitions, that's all that counts. So yeah, I definitely think that is a good selection there. So yeah. No, I think I would say everyone's got a different opinion on the team selection, but that's not a bad one to go with. Just be depending on who we play, actually. So, which is another comment. It says Liverpool versus Norwich or Bristol. Yeah, that's a good one. I'm not mad at that, to be fair. So, will be an interesting tie. And Dad says, all right, Ozzie, you should Odegaard have seen red. I can't remember now, to be fair. My mind's gone blank in terms of remind me in terms of what he did. I can't remember if he did have the red. I'll probably say yes, just for the sake of my mind's gone blank in terms of what happened now. Spurs versus City, 4th round. Yeah, Chelsea with Aston Villa 4th round. Yeah, fair enough. And then you've got Richard says Liverpool play good in second half. Yep, Jota, Bradley, Clark, Granberg, good subs there. They definitely were, to be fair. Smash and grab job. Yeah, it had to be done, to be fair. It was definitely one of those type of games where I wanted the team to play aggressively, but I knew when it comes to playing at the Emirates, they were going to have most of the possession, so we had to be a bit more patient with that counter attack. But I think they defended really well, and they were more on the front foot, which is why we weren't able to create too many chances in the first half. But second half, I think, opening 10, 15 minutes, we did well. And then when Klopp made those substitutions, his timing of substitutions for me has been spot on this year. One of my criticisms last year of Klopp was some of the substitutions or lack of substitutions in certain games. This year, for me, he's done a great, great job. So no, in football, you got to do those smash and grab jobs sometimes. That was definitely one of the games. I had that feeling as well whilst the game was going on that we're going to nick a 1-0 or 2-0. Just the way, in the manner of how many chances they were creating, how wasteful they were in front of goal. They just still look like they were going to hit the back of the net anytime soon. So, sour grapes from Arsenal fans after I saw some of the match reactions from, especially on Arsenal Fan TV, saying this is one of the crappiest Liverpool teams they've seen. Still managed to do a job on you guys. So, that's your opinion. It is what it is. If my team's crap in your eyes and we're beating you, I'd take that all day. I couldn't care less. So, it's got to be done. And hopefully we do another smash and grab next few weeks at Emirates again. And then Dad said, is it true what I heard Dom could be back for Wednesday? Oof. If that's the case, that's one of those like, okay, fine. That's not a bad one to have back in the squad. I haven't heard of it too much, to be honest with you, Daz. I'll definitely check up on it before I do my match preview tomorrow. If he is back, I'll be honest with you, Daz, I might not want him to start in this fixture. I'd probably want to rest him and then maybe bring him back for that second leg. I don't think there's an urgency to get him into that team right now. I think we can do a good job against Fulham with the squad we have right now. I know we're still limited in terms of numbers, but I think we have enough midfielders and attackers to do a job there. So if he's available, great, but I wouldn't want to risk him if I'm being brutally honest. Trey Enoy debut in front of Cop 4th round. I haven't heard of Trey Enoy, but you've got my attention on him now, so definitely keep an eye out for Trey Enoy there. And then you give me your match ratings, Richard, so you're ahead of the game. I'll do mine very shortly. So let's see how much it is. So you've got Alisson 9, Gomez 7.5, Trent 8.5, Kwanzaa 7.5, Kanate 9.5, McAllister 7.5, Elliott 7.5, John 7, Gakpo 7, Nunez 7, Diaz 8.5, subs, Jota 8.5, Granberg 8, Clark 7.5, and Bradley 7.5. So interesting lineups there, or should I say rankings for the players. I'm doing mine shortly. Mine, I think, is a little bit different to yours. But please drop in and let me know what you think on my one as well. And we've got Abdul Rahim player rating. So you've given me yours as well. So you've got 8.5 with Alisson, Trent 8.5, Kwanzaa 9, 8 for 9 for Konate, 8 for Kwanzaa, McAllister 7.5, Elliott 8, Jones and Gakpo 7, Nunez 7, Diaz 8.5, Jota 8.5, Granberg 8.5, Bradley and Clark both get 7. So quite similar to Richard's actually in terms of the ranking. So I think we'll be on the same wavelength. Mine will be slightly different, but I think it'll be quite obvious in terms of, for me, who stood out more. So that would be the difference in terms of my ratings there. And you've asked me, what do you think about Inacio, Florentino Luis, and Olise? So Inacio, for me, would definitely tick that box on the basis that he can play in the back three, in the back four. He can play. He's naturally left-footed, so you can play. So obviously, naturally, a left-sided centre back can play left back. I've actually also seen him play on the right side, which is quite unusual for a left-footed player. So he can do a job wherever we need him on the back line. So Inacio, for me, is definitely one to look out for. I've heard speculation that we've tried to make a bid, but wasn't quite close to the valuation. So I think they value him around 40, 45 million, and we've offered around 20, 30, 25, 30. So I don't know how much truth there is into that rumor, but yeah, he's definitely someone that I feel like is probably top of our agenda. Florentino Luis, good player, to be fair. I haven't seen much of him this season. I watched a bit of him last season because we were linked to him quite a lot last year. Looks a good player. Looks like a a younger Fabinho type of player for me. So a pure destroyer. I'll have to watch him a bit more to kind of see if he's the right fit for us, because I think with our number 6, they still need to be able to be very good on the ball and playing different range of passing and coping transitions as well. So that's why for me, Palhinha ticks the box a bit more. He might not be everyone's choice due to possibly his age, but for me, I've seen him do it for Fulham, so I know when he comes in and slots into the Liverpool team, he'll do it straight away. So not Florentino Luis, definitely, I would say one that I know the club have looked at in the past. So no surprise. Elise, the right wing one is such an interesting choice because there's so many players out there. Elise is definitely one of my favorite sort of candidates for that role. He's stylistically, he's not like Mo Salah, but he's very creative, very, very good on the ball. He's added goals to his locker this season as well. I think since the absence of Wilfred Zaha into that team, he's definitely stepped up and taken on that responsibility. Great left foot in terms of his playmaking ability. Technically very, very good. I wouldn't mind Elise, to be fair. Palace might want to get a big check out of it, and I don't blame them, to be fair. I think he's got a release clause of around 50 million from what I know, because I know he signed a new contract as there was interest from Chelsea in the summer, which he rejected, which is, a good sign there that, he wanted to progress and play football rather than just be one of many players in the Chelsea squad. So look, if those 3 were signed, I won't be mad. That those are 3 good players there. Players we've all been linked with. So yeah, won't be a huge surprise in terms of if there's any concrete news. But yeah, definitely the profile of players that we're definitely looking at. And a comment here from Richard says Fabio Carvalho at Hull City on loan. That's an interesting one. I know he was linked with Wolves. I thought Wolves would have been a good fit for him, to be fair. Maybe they could have guaranteed him playing time, which is definitely a sticky point. He didn't get much game time at Leipzig. So Hull City at the Championship won't be bad. I would prefer that Wolves, obviously, number one, because they are a Premier League team, but also Gary O'Neill, who we all know was a coach at Liverpool for the youth ranks, is doing a fantastic job at Wolves. So I think he would have actually worked really well for his kind of team. So not bad move. Hopefully he does well there for Hull City. Another comment here for Amir who says should be a good move for Carvalho. I hope he does well. Yeah. Tyler Morton, I've heard actually he's doing really well there as well. So a familiar face for Fabio there. And then Richard has also said Nunes needs to improve his finishing. Yeah, we've been saying it for a long time. A lot of fans say if he improved his finishing, he'd be the best striker in the world. I don't know about the best striker in the world, but yeah, I get the sentiment in terms of that. He's got all the right ingredients, and he's showing all the other areas of being a top striker. It's just the finishing that's lacking him right now, or letting him down, I should say. I think with him, it's just composure in front of goal, selecting the right type of shots. He still hasn't found that balance for me, in my opinion. The times where he should be like placing in the bottom corner, he's trying to smash it in the top bins. Erratic. I think he's finishing, for me, the best way is to describe is erratic. I can't say he's a young player as such. He's how is he now? Is he 24? From last time I remember checking up on him. So, at that age, you should be kind of evolving as a striker or understanding what type of finishing you need to apply when you're on the pitch. So, no, but what I've been impressed with him this year is his overall gameplay. His link up has been fantastic. Definitely working there. Another area for me he needs to work on is staying onside. He's always offside. He's proved the last 2-3 games, but there's been times where it's always Nunes that's offside, which is very frustrating, obviously, as a spectator, but I'm sure the players on the pitch will find it frustrating because they're pinging the balls to him, and if he's not making those right timely runs, it kills the momentum. So, as much as we praise in terms of being, Mr. Chaos in front of goal, like staying onside will actually be a big help. I might actually help with the team producing more goals, because once he's offside, the play is killed. So yeah, if his finishing needs to improve, Just needs to add up a bit of composure in front of goal, and yeah, needs to try and stay on side more often as well. Uh, Amir Ali, who says Inacio can also play DM. I hear. Haven't seen that, to be fair. If he can, he's a typical Klopp player. He can do a bit of everything in that case. So yeah, that would be, yeah, that would definitely be Klopp's alley if that is the case. Abdul Rahim says Gakpo needs to improve his confidence and needs to start scoring goals. So Gakpo, I think he's a player that I wouldn't say confidence, because whenever he plays, he does do well. I think he just relies on rhythm and consistency. Because he's been in and out of the team, he hasn't had that chance. But at the same time, and I'm not going to say it's the manager's fault, he should be playing him more often. There's certain games he hasn't shown enough, in my opinion. So he's made one or two good performances in the Europa League, but then when he started the next game, he's dropped off quite a bit as well. So it goes down to him. If he can show Klopp that, look, I'm the guy that can lead the line, because I thought this was going to be the season where he would have literally made his mark in the team as one of the first names in the lineup from the way he played as a false nine. But what impressed me was his pressing, his intelligence, and linking up play, but also his finishing was immaculate, especially obviously the infamous 7-0 victory against United. So has everything in his locker. Tall guy, I think people underestimate his speed. He's actually quite quick on and off the ball. So for me, yeah, as long as he finds that rhythm, this is probably a great chance for him to do so with Mo Salah not being available, and obviously we'll be trying to chop and change our attacking shape as well. Great chance for him to take a claim and yeah, take it from there. So playing in the midfield role does a decent job for me, but it's not his natural game. So I'd like to see him more in the forward line in the upcoming weeks. And then we've got Uncle Roz, who says, big up, bro. Everyone in the chat is saying big up to Uncle Roz. Obviously, Uncle Roz is loved. Great person, of course, but great content creator as well. So if you haven't, please make sure you subscribe to Anfield Uncle Roz's channel. Just search him up, and then yeah, you'll find him. And make sure you doing some great content for Liverpool, but also does content regarding Premier League as well. So yeah, make sure you support Uncle Roz. Big support for myself and for this channel. So yeah, big up to Roz. Abdul Rahim says big up to Roz as well. Amir Richard says big up Roz. Amir Ali as well says big up Uncle. And then he responds and says blessings to the family. And then yeah, lots of love for Uncle Roz. You'll never walk alone. And Richard says Europa League draw in February. Okay, definitely going to be looking out for that. Hopefully there'll be some exciting counts. I know Bayer Leverkusen were one of the strong ones there. I wouldn't want to face them too soon, to be fair, but it's definitely a competition that I think we should be taking seriously. To be fair, we're in all cup competition, so the more silver we get, the more this season looks amazing right now. Like people saying quad talk, I'm not mad at that, to be fair. Let us get past Fulham, and I might start talking about that quad talk. But yeah, why not? Why not? But we're in there. You have to be in it to win it, so we're there. Can't argue with that. Double D said Gakpo has been used in varying positions compared to Darwin, so form is going to have a spot on Double D. That is the thing, because there's been so many times where he's played as a number 8. We all know that's not his role. I know he's multifunctional, can play on the left, can play up top, can play as a false 9, can play as a number 10 as well. But as a number 8, it's a different ball game. You're a box-to-box player. You have to be defensively sound as well, making sure you're tracking back. Obviously, the way we set up as well, you got to make sure you're covering the fullbacks like Trent Alexander-Arnold on that right-hand side. So for me, it's not one that he's like, probably has a skill set. I'm sure Klopp has seen traits of like, oh, maybe he can do a good job from an attacking sense of view. But when you've got a player like Trent on the right-hand side, that's where we're going to focus in terms of creativity. So now when you're not playing in one position or one or two positions and you're being played here, there, and there, then it does have an impact in terms of your form. But I have confidence in Gakpo. For me, he's a fantastic player to have. Definitely has some skill sets where I feel like, if he goes on a run, he can definitely cause damage up top. So So no, I definitely think he'll do a good job for us going forward into the season. And that's it. Another one is live at 11 p.m. Jamie. So yeah, Jamie's football chat as well. Definitely, I'll be at 11 o'clock. So I'll be done before then. So yeah, make sure you guys switch over to Jamie as well. And yeah, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to his channel. So before I conclude, I'll do my player ratings. If you're watching live, drop a comment as I go through each player. Some may not agree, some may agree. Let's see how I do. So what I'll do, I'll load up the graphics for you guys right now, and we can chop it up. So we'll start with Allison. For me, had a solid game. Was kept busy in this one. The previous fixture, you know, he was probably finding paint drying more entertaining. Didn't really have much to do in the last game, but this game, yeah, he was kept busy from the opening minutes. I think he did a fantastic job. Solid performance from him. Yeah, I think in terms of overall, it didn't really make any errors. I feel like he was good on the ball. Intercepted a lot of crosses and was comfortable doing that. Some good saves in terms of shot stopping. So I had a very solid all-round game. So for me, I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. Let me know you guys think that's too low. Dazzy says 10 all over. Yeah, he was good, but I think when you see my ratings, you'll see why I've given gaps here and there. Because if I give him a 10, for me, he'll have to be man of the match. And for me, there was someone else that really stood out for me. So that's why I'll give him an Gosh. Apologies, guys. For some reason, my camera just disappeared. Um, what I'll do, I'll start. I think I was talking to myself for the last 2 minutes. So what I'll do, I'll quickly round up my ratings there. So that says 10 all over. Yeah, so the mic's cut off. Apologies. I think my camera just went off there, even though I did add myself. So let's start again. So Allison, you can actually see the rankings there. So I was talking about quite a few players there. So Allison, for me, had a solid game. Yeah, had to make a lot of saves from I'll say the opening couple of minutes. At least Reece Nelson probably should have scored, to be fair. But overall, in terms of his performance, great shot stopping ability, had to produce. There weren't no big chances where he, was like a world class save or anything like that. But there were saves where he had to be there. Impressive for me was the number of crosses that were coming through, and he was able to deal with them with no problem whatsoever. Didn't drop a ball at all. In terms of his distribution, was very good. Wasn't negative. Sometimes with Allison, he tries to be a bit too over clever and play the wrong pass here and there. I think he had one moment he did that, but nothing else alarm bells. So for me, solid performance. So he gets an 8 out of 10. Double D was like, poor man said, F it and left. No. I'm still here, guys. I'm still here. There are a bit of technical issues there, but yeah, I'm still here. I'm still here trying to give you guys my player rating. So yeah, please get involved. Let me know what you guys think. In terms of my left back position, we've got Joe Gomez. So let me know what you guys think in the chat. I think he didn't have the best of performances from recent weeks. I think in the first half, he looked a bit shaky, gave the ball away quite a few times. I think Saka got on the upper hand in terms of a couple of moments around him. But second half, for me, he stepped up in like good fashion and pretty much kept Saka at bay, and was probably the reason why Arsenal weren't producing as many attacks towards goal due to cutting that supply line, which was Saka for that Arsenal team. So for me, had a much better performance. So that's why I've given him a 7.5. And Kwanzaa, for me, another solid performance from him. He's done so fantastic this season. I was always aware of Kwanzaa. I knew he was very highly regarded at the club, but I don't think no one could imagine the impact that he's had. He just looks years above what he's showing right now. So mature on the pitch, very composed on the ball. Doesn't rush when he has the ball. Defensively, positionally, he's still learning. Don't get me wrong, he's not perfect, but he's still learning. But he's still doing enough to stop any attacks going through, and he's covering well for his defensive partner in this game, which was Kanate. So for me, had a good performance. Gave the ball away a couple of times. If I'm nitpicking, I was concerned when he had that moment where I think he took that first touch, dribbled, and I think his studs might have got stuck to the ground. So I was hoping, fingers crossed, it's not like a big knee injury or a hip injury, which I think Bajcic has right now. So luckily that wasn't the case. He was able to play on afterwards. And from what I've heard, he's fine. So that's good news. So for me, another solid performance. I give it 7.5 out of 10. Kanate for me gets an 8.5. I think he stepped up in this one. He was given man of the match during the actual footage, the match as well. From I think it was Alan Shows on the commentary team there. People making noise about Kanate now, saying that look, people talking about Saliba. What about Kanate? Look, us Liverpool fans know what we have. We have a top defender on our hands right there. The only thing is just his availability. He's picking up a lot of injuries here and there. But for me, whenever he's on the pitch, he's a beast. He's solid. In terms of power and pace, can't get around it. I think some people question his sort of distribution, but I feel like as a defender, you don't need to be a Trent Alexander-Arnold to be regarded as a great passer of the ball. As long as he keeps it simple, as long as he distributes the right type of passes around the pitch, I'm all for that, to be fair. But not a very dominant performance. And I think he's naturally stepped up because he knew he had a less experienced defender alongside him in Kwanzaa. So for me, he was fantastic in this game. So for me, he gets an 8.5. And then Trent Alexander-Arnold on that right-hand side was fantastic for me. There was only a couple of moments where I felt like, the slang is that he got cooked. I think with Martinelli nutmegged him once and went past him once as well. So that was the only thing. But when it comes to certain attackers, you just give them the plaudits, right? Because obviously that's their job to go past the defenders. And he did his job, but with no end product. So does it really matter? Not really. So for me, he had a good performance. His distribution, I've lost words in terms of describing Trent's passing. Unbelievable. Donning a new pair of Alias Predators, which for me looked nice as well. I wanted to wear those white and red ones because when he wore those ones, I feel like he was just scoring and doing all sorts of madness in terms of passing. So if he reverts back to those boots, he'll be on the score sheet a bit more. But overall, good performance. Had the out captain armband as well, so that definitely gave him a bit of a lift, a bit more authority and responsibility on the pitch. So for me, he was solid. So I'll give him an 8.5 out of 10. In terms of my midfield three here, so McAllister for me had a decent game. I don't feel like he was on the ball as much as I would have liked to have seen. Was quiet at times, but maybe he's not full up in terms of his match fitness because he's just returned from injury. So I feel like it will take time for him to find that level again. But overall, had a decent game. Played for an hour. So I'll give him a 7 out of 10. And then we've got Curtis Jones for me. Had some good moments in the first half, but yes, wasn't as influential as his previous performances. But he did keep things neat and tidy. I remember there was one moment where he had the ball for like a solid minute where Arsenal players were charging to try and get off him. And that's one area of his game he's really improved in terms of keeping hold of the ball and pressing as well. He's very good with his press to try and get the ball from the opposition. So for me, he had a solid performance. Nothing spectacular in my opinion. So I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10 as well. And then Gakpo for me, quiet, I would say. Had moments where he was on the ball here and there, but didn't do much, to be fair. I think he tried to interchange with Elliot on the right-hand side in the beginning of the second half, but just wasn't working. So for me, he lacked influence on the game. I don't want to be too harsh, but I'm going to give him a 6.5 out of 10. I think in comparison to Jones and McAllister, I think they had the better games in the midfield there. And then up top, you've got Harvey Elliott. For me, had a good game. I think the counterattacks before he was substituted came from Elliott, where they weren't really from wide areas. He came a bit more infield and he made things happen. So for me, he had a good game. I want to see more from him. I'm hoping Klopp gives him more opportunities on that right wing because I can definitely feel like he will do a good job there. He won't be Mo Salah-esque in terms of his performances, but I think he'll provide that creativity that we require because you've got the left forward and you've got the centre forward. They're the players that are there to be the goal scorers. So I'm talking about Diaz, Nunez, Jota, Gakpo. They're the goal scorers. Elliot will be the one that needs to be that creative spark in that team, especially in the final third. So I'm hoping he gets opportunity in this upcoming fixtures that we have. So I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. And he faces his former club on Wednesday as well. So yeah, I'm sure he'll be able to start in that game. Let's talk about Darwin Núñez. So Núñez, I don't know, he had a decent game, wasn't involved as much. In the last game, I feel like he was doing things a bit more instinctively, so he was playing with a bit more speed. This game, I feel like he will get the ball, stop, start, have a look around, and he just kind of killed play a little bit at times for me. So I don't think he had the best of games, to be honest with you. Didn't really miss any clear-cut chances or anything to that nature, but I just don't feel like he was as influential as I would have liked him to have been, to be fair. So, fortunately for Darwin, I'm going to give you the same ranking as Gakpo. I'm going to give him a 6.5. If that's harsh, let me know. Drop a comment. Diaz, for me, was fantastic. Very, very impressed. We got our old Diaz back. We had it in the last game. and he's certainly delivered in this game as well. First half for me, I don't think any of our attackers were great in terms of like really giving it to the opposition because we didn't have the ball in the attacking third as much. Second half, as the team stepped up, for me, he stepped up. He was everywhere for me. Started the second half on the left, ended the game with the right, and I think he was so impactful on the right. No, for me, what I want to see from attacker is that even if they've gone for a run and they've lost the ball, they go at it again. They keep going. They don't let that stick in their minds that, oh, maybe I should have done better. Get the ball again, go again, see how it goes. And that's exactly what he did during the game. So for me, he was very, very influential. Obviously, he scored that goal. Even the first goal, to be fair, I think he was one of the players that took that leap near Kibio. And I think he was one of the reasons why the defender tried to head it away, but obviously headed it the back of the net. So definitely played a part in that first goal. And the second goal, as I mentioned earlier in the show, it looked like it was a no-look shot as well. So Diaz with a cheeky finish there. For me, I think he was one of our standout players. I'm actually giving him a 9 out of 10. And as you can see from our ranking, he's the highest ranked player. So that's why I'm going to give him my man of the match award. So let me know what you guys think. I know we had, let me see, we had Richard and Abdul with their rankings. So let me compare to their rankings. So yeah, I think in terms of the scores are obviously different, but I think in terms of like who had the superior games or who has the highest ranking makes a bit more sense. So yeah, I would say we're not too far off. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment. What I'll do now is I'll add some of the subs that came on as well. So that was Jota that came on. So he came on for Gakpo. So I'll place them in their correct positions shortly. And then we also had Gravenberg came on for McAllister. Then we also had Bradley. Let's see if he's in this website that I'm using. So for Elliot, so Bradley is there, and the final player is Clark. Let me see if he's here. Bobby Clark. Let me see if I can find him. And he came on for Jones. Bobby Clark, are you there? Oh, yes, he is. Fantastic. So there we go. Put Bobby Clark there. So let's start with Jota. Yeah, I think the last game he came off the bench as well and just made such a great impact, and he's doing that as well. So for me, that's such a great trait to have as a player where we all know with Jota, he's just come back from injury, so he's still finding his rhythm in the team. So he knows he won't be starting every game in the next few weeks, but his attitude has been fantastic. Whenever he comes on, he just makes such a big impression on the game. Saliba was on toast throughout that game when he came on. Driving with the ball, the final goal that we scored as well. You can see Jota telling people like, "Oh, go a bit more wide." Like he was instructing the attack there as well. So for me, he's a fantastic player. We've definitely missed him. Great to have him on the team as well. So I think this might be too high. I don't know. I thought he had a great impact when he came on. So I'm going to give him. I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. And then Gravenberg, let me put these guys in their correct positions. Looks a bit odd to see Jota and Mitchell there. So Trent ended up being there, and then you had Bradley there, and then you had him over here. Darwin ended up playing left, didn't he? So Jota up top. And then you had Clark on this side and Gravenberg on this side. So okay, so the next player, let's go with Gravenberg. So yeah, Gravenberg for me actually did quite well when he came on. Made some good passes, really good on the ball, kept it tidy, kept it clean. Didn't do anything extravagant in terms of ball carried, but I feel like he was assigned to just make sure he kept that midfield compact, and I think he did the job. So for me, good cameo from him. So I'm going to give him a. I gave him an 8. Did I give Jota 9? That doesn't sound right. I'll give him an 8, and I'll give him a 7.5 out of 10. And then let's talk about the two youngsters. You know, I saw a bit of footage on Arsenal Fan TV, I think it was, and they were laughing when we brought these two kids on. So sure, they're not laughing now. He who laughs first, laughs last, I guess. So yeah, they did fantastic when they came on. Bobby Clark came on, made a professional tackle, you know, as we'd like to call it in sort of like in like PG terms there. Did the job for the team, you know. So in that regard, gotta give a good ranking there. So 7 out of 10. And then Conor Bradley, to be fair, when he came on, I didn't see Martinelli attack that left-hand side at all. And it wasn't down to, you know, using his physicality or aggressiveness in his defensive duty. He just kept the shape very well. He was pretty much marking out wide, close to the bar line. Didn't really give him any room to attack that side. So it led up Martinelli coming up a bit more infield, and he didn't have that same influence. So Martinelli's game is to literally go out wide through that byline. Bradley closed that gap. So for me, that was more intelligence from Bradley. Probably Trent should, you know, take some notes from him in terms of those one-on-one duels, because Martinelli didn't want to go that side of the pitch. So for me, a good account of himself when he came on. So where is he? So I'll give him a 7 out of 10 as well. And that is my overall ranking, guys. So slightly lower in comparison to Abdul's, and I think it was Richard's. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you think. So yeah, just going to check the last comment here. And it's from Daz. He said, "Isn't Bobby Clark's dad an ex-footballer who used to play Shearer?" Yeah, from what I remember, it's Lee Clark. And I think Lee Clark used to play for Newcastle United. So yeah, that is why it's Lee Clark. What is he doing now? So I think he's a manager now, isn't he? Let's have a look. He's actually a manager of Al Merrek in the Sudan Premier League. So yeah, he used to play for Newcastle. So yeah, that's the player that I think Cheryl was referring to in commentary there. Yeah, I remember reading that as well when we first signed Bobby Clark, that his dad was a former player. So yeah, a bit of like fun facts there. But yeah, that's a wrap up for today. Apologies for that slight glitch with my audio there. I went missing for about a few minutes. So thank you for sticking with me. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. I know we don't have a lot of Premier League games coming up, but that doesn't stop us from doing content. So we've got a big game coming up on Wednesday, FA Cup final, Liverpool versus Fulham. So I'll be doing the match preview tomorrow evening. It will be at 10 p.m. UK time. And then I'll also be doing the match reaction on Wednesday. Let me just check the kickoff time. So it should be 8 o'clock kickoff. So I'll give you a bit more of an accurate time. 8 o'clock kickoff. So the show will be at 10:30 p.m. UK time. That will be a call-in session as well, like all my match reactions are. So if you'd like to come on, have your say, feel free to do so. The floor is yours, guys. And then, yeah, I might do just got a comment I was literally just about to mention it. So any FIFA streams, Ozzie. So that's, yes, I will be doing one. I'll be doing one on Thursday night. So I'm currently doing episodes of my Liverpool career mode. So I'll be continuing that episode. So that'll be this Thursday at 10 p.m. So yeah, hopefully you'll be tuning in to that show. But yeah, so that's our wrap up for today. So thank you to everyone with your comments. Appreciate as always, guys. Thank you to Anfield Uncle Roz. Thank you to Abdul Rahim. Thank you for General. Thank you to Amirali. Thank you to Richard. Thank you to Daz for your comments. And thank you to Double D. So yeah, appreciate the contribution, guys. Definitely made the show a lot more worthwhile. Your contributions is welcomed as always. So yeah, I'll be back tomorrow evening. So take care, stay safe, and I hope to see you all very, very, very soon. Goodbye.